Mechanism Monday, inside voice. All right, check this out. I'm going to skip past / take a break from all the social, political dramatics and get into something that I think the creatives of the world can actually use, aka something I've been seeing a lot of lately. People who talk more than they listen, especially when they're in privileged positions to learn something. If it feels like you've heard me say this before, it's because it's a reoccurring issue, including for yours truly. Yeah, believe it or not, even your boy who gets paid to talk will run into more moments where I wish I hadn't than anything else. Now, this can go wrong normally in 3 different ways. One, the most common, you just accidentally flat out say the wrong thing. Make a private situation public. You bring up some old shit. You blurt out a secret. Maybe you didn't know it was a secret, but you probably did. You get it. I'm not going to go into that mode too heavy because 9 times out of 10, you know what you said and you regret it the second it fell out of your face. It literally happens to everyone, and there are ways to minimize it, but even the most considerate, empathetic, caring person can say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Second, you may say the right thing at the wrong time, meaning the statement itself was harmless, but it touched the nerve because of a personal situation that the other person is going through personally. That situation falls on the grace of the person personally affected. Not much you can do here, but be apologetic and sympathetic. And they got to understand that you couldn't have meant any harm because you didn't know. No real shame in that. But the third and the trickiest is the one when you say the thing that can be taken the wrong way, completely out of the context that you meant it in. Because now what happens? Do they have the right to get upset with you? Do you have the right to get upset with them after they've finished getting upset with you? And how do you squash it? And more importantly, how do you avoid it? Off the top, both sides are going to have to understand that you can't be 100% responsible for someone else's interpretation of your words. Now, you can hope that the person will ask for clarity, but there's no guarantee in that. And you can have to have the hope that they don't jump to defense before clarifying your meaning and intention. Side note, someone's interpretation can tell you a lot about what kind of person they are and how they see the world. Someone always hears and sees the worst case scenario. That's probably something they would have meant if the shoe was on the other foot. But I digress. For folks who find themselves in these situations, there is no cure outside of silence. But the next best thing, keep your word count to a minimum. Spend more time listening and less talking. And try and get directly to the point when you do talk. Embellishments are where and why the bullshit happens. Think about it. If you explain your point for clarity, some may appreciate it, someone else may get offended because it sounds like you think they're stupid for not getting it. But keeping it brief and giving someone room to ask questions will never hurt as long as you have the answers. Again, there's no avoiding the inevitable, and mistakes will happen. But if you want to minimize the damage, look no further than the old wisdoms. Think before you speak, silence is golden, and better to keep quiet and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. I'm paraphrasing, but I have already said too much.